Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel, UK Immigration. We hope you're doing great. In this video,
they are scenes that are now happening daily in towns and cities across the country. In Liverpool, police officers coming under attack from a far-right mob. A number of officers injured as they dealt with what was described as serious disorder. Police in running battles with some of those in the city streets. They knew protests were planned, but images show the scale of the crowds.
We're going to talk about UK protests. Violent disorder breaks out across the country. In recent days, the UK has witnessed a dramatic escalation in civil unrest, with violent disorder erupting across various cities. These protests, initially sparked by, have quickly spiraled into widespread chaos, challenging authorities and impacting communities nationwide. As tensions rise and clashes between demonstrators and law enforcement become more frequent, the situation remains fluid, raising concerns about the potential for further violence and the broader implications for social stability. If you are interested in this, to get all the information, pay attention and watch the video through to the end. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. In recent weeks, the UK has been engulfed in a wave of violent protests and civil unrest that has spread like wildfire across towns and cities. Daily scenes of chaos and confrontation have become alarmingly common, as communities grapple with an unprecedented surge in disorder. Liverpool, confrontations with far-right groups. Liverpool has become a flashpoint for the protests, where the intensity of the unrest has reached new heights. Police officers have faced brutal attacks from far-right groups, resulting in several injuries. These confrontations have been characterized by extreme violence, with police struggling to control the situation amidst a torrent of aggression. The scale of the protests in Liverpool, captured in striking images.
And this, just a few miles from Southport, where the attack on children at a dance class seemingly lit the fuse. Similar scenes in Nottingham, bottles thrown as fighting broke out. And in Blackpool, where more fighting broke out in the crowd, their loyalties very clear.
Any person organising or taking part in the procession is committing an offence.
In Belfast too, a hotel housing migrants was the target, leading to clashes with police. More than 24 protests have taken place across the country.
Reveals the sheer size of the crowds and the chaotic scenes unfolding in the streets just a few miles away in Southport. An attack on children at a local dance class appears to have been a catalyst, igniting further violence and unrest in the region. Nottingham and Blackpool, escalating violence. In Nottingham, the situation deteriorated rapidly, with bottles being hurled as skirmishes erupted between protesters and law enforcement. The violence was marked by a lack of restraint, with both sides engaging in fierce altercations. Similarly, in Blackpool, confrontations became fierce as rival factions clashed in the streets. The atmosphere in these cities has been charged with heightened emotions, and the frequency of such incidents highlights the growing intensity of the unrest. Authorities have been grappling with how to manage these volatile situations while trying to prevent further escalation. Belfast, attacks on migrant housing. The unrest has not been confined to England alone. In Belfast, a hotel housing migrants was targeted by protesters, leading to significant clashes with the police. The attack on the migrant accommodation reflects the broader xenophobic undercurrents fueling some of the violence. This incident is part of a disturbing trend where vulnerable communities are being targeted. Amid the chaos, the authorities in Belfast have been faced with the dual challenge of protecting these communities while maintaining public order. Sunderland, the epicenter of violence. The surge in protests has been staggering, with over 24 demonstrations taking place across the UK in recent days. Sunderland, in particular, has borne the brunt of the violence, with its streets bearing the scars of the recent upheaval. The scale of the violence in Sunderland has prompted urgent responses from local authorities, who have issued stern warnings and vowed that those responsible will face the full force of the law. The city's experience has highlighted the severity of the situation and the urgent need for effective intervention. Manchester, ransacked supermarket and counter-protests. In Manchester,
last night it was Sunderland that saw the worst of the violence, its streets bearing the scars today, and prompting this warning that those responsible will face action.
Well, the police need to lead operations in communities across the country where there has been both violent disorder and thuggery on the streets, which is completely unacceptable, completely damaging, and where the police need to know they have our full support, taking the strongest possible action, making sure that these criminals face the full force of the law.
In Manchester today, a supermarket was ransacked by a mob as they ran from police.
The situation took a troubling turn when a supermarket was ransacked by a mob fleeing from police. This incident underscores the chaotic nature of the protests and the challenges faced by law enforcement in maintaining order. The city has also seen a rise in counter-protests, with anti-fascist groups marching to assert their opposition to the violence and hatred fueling the unrest. This juxtaposition of defiance and resistance reflects the broader societal divisions and the ongoing struggle to restore stability. Government and law enforcement response. The police have been under immense pressure to respond effectively to the escalating violence. Operations are underway across various communities to address the violent disorder and the accompanying thuggery that has marred public spaces. Law enforcement agencies are emphasizing their commitment to taking decisive action and ensuring that perpetrators are held accountable. Public support for the police's efforts is crucial as they navigate the complexities of managing these large-scale disturbances. The path forward. As the UK grapples with this wave of summer violence, the path forward remains uncertain. The government and law enforcement agencies are faced with the daunting task of addressing the root causes of the unrest while managing the immediate fallout. The nation's ability to navigate this period of upheaval and restore a sense of normalcy will be closely watched, with the hope that effective measures will lead to a resolution of the current turmoil and a return to peace and order. The coming weeks will be pivotal in determining how the UK manages this crisis and moves towards a more stable and harmonious society.
Refugees are welcome here!
But the city also saw one of the many counter-protests today, anti-fascists marching with their message. A sense that some are not willing to stand by as the wave of summer violence rolls on, and among others, whatever the response, clear defiance. Greg Milam, Sky News, Liverpool.
As the situation continues to develop, the UK faces a critical juncture in addressing the root causes of the unrest and restoring order. The recent surge in violent disorder underscores the deep-seated issues fueling these protests and highlights the urgent need for effective dialogue and intervention. With communities on edge and the nation closely watching, the coming days will be pivotal in determining how the country navigates this tumultuous period and works towards long-term solutions for peace and stability. That is all for today. In this video, what are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later, in the next video. Till then, take care.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel UK Immigration. We hope you're doing great. In this video, we're going to talk about UK protests. Violent disorder breaks out across the country. The UK is currently experiencing a significant surge in violent protests that have spread rapidly across various towns and cities. These protests, which began in response to a specific cause, have escalated into widespread civil unrest marked by intense confrontations and chaos. In Liverpool, the situation has reached alarming levels, with far-right groups attacking police officers, resulting in several injuries. The scale of the protest in Liverpool has been particularly striking, with large crowds and severe disorder. Nearby Southport witnessed an incident involving an attack on children at a dance class, which further fueled the violence in the region. Nottingham and Blackpool have also been centres of unrest. In Nottingham, bottles were thrown and clashes broke out between protesters and law enforcement. Blackpool saw similar violence, with rival factions engaging in street brawls. These cities have struggled with managing the intense confrontations and maintaining the public order amid growing unrest. The violence has extended beyond England to Belfast, where a hotel housing migrants was targeted. This attack reflects the broader xenophobic sentiments contributing to some of the unrest. Authorities in Belfast have faced challenges in protecting vulnerable communities while dealing with the widespread protest. Sunderland has emerged as a particularly hard-hit area with extensive violence, leaving visible scars on the city. The local government has issued strong warnings and pledged to hold those responsible accountable for the disorder. Manchester has seen additional turmoil, including the ransacking of a supermarket by a fleeing mob. Counter-protests have also emerged in the city, with anti-fascist groups demonstrating against the ongoing violence and hatred. As the UK faces this wave of summer violence, the government and law enforcement agencies are under immense pressure to restore order and address the root causes of the unrest. The coming weeks will be crucial in determining how effectively the UK can navigate this crisis and work towards peace and stability.